Sorry I can't be with you in person today, but I just wanted to express my deep support for the important work that you're doing. For years, it's been an article of faith that peace between Israelis and Palestinians will only come through a purely bilateral negotiation mediated by the United States. The Arab world put forward the immensely constructive Arab Peace Initiative, but even that assumed that the role of the Arab world in relation to Israel should remain very limited until that bilateral Israeli-Palestinian negotiation succeeded. Of course, the bilateral negotiation remains paramount, and of course the role of the United States remains critical. But for many years, I have believed, and my institute here works to this end, that a developing Arab-Israeli relationship can, should, and must provide critical underpinning to that process, and that it is a vital component of any realistic possibility of enduring peace and the implementation of the two-state solution on a just and reasonable basis. So I believe that integrating Israel in the region will benefit all parties and not only Israel. Far from distancing peace, it will bring peace between Israel and the Palestinians, in my judgment, closer. So Israel has already signed several peace agreements with Arab states. In 1979, as you know, Israel signed a peace treaty with Egypt. A peace treaty followed with Jordan in 1994, and 1 year before that, in 1993, the PLO recognized Israel as a sovereign state. And the parties agreed to resolve the long dispute through negotiations, not armed conflict. In fact, as again you know, and despite the current deadlock, the parties have had many rounds of negotiations, and Israelis and Palestinians continue to meet in important second-track meetings to advance peace. Ironically, it is the countries that have never been involved in a war with Israel in the Gulf and in Northern Africa that still do not have a peace treaty or official relations with Israel. This was based on what I think was always a mistaken assumption that normalizing relations with Israel before an Israeli-Palestinian peace treaty could harm the process. But ultimately, what it has done is to deprive these important countries from the ability to influence and aid the peace process between the Israelis and the Palestinians. And countries increasingly understand that geopolitical realities in the region require the integration of Israel in the region. In October 2018, we saw Prime Minister Netanyahu visit Oman and meet the Sultan there. This year, we saw Israeli ministers and diplomats participate in many conferences held in different Arab capitals, in Cairo, Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, Manama. We also saw Israeli artists, sports teams, scientific delegations visit those countries. And in Gaza, of course, the role of Egypt and aid from Qatar are vital in stabilizing the situation there. Israel was also officially invited to participate in the Dubai Expo 2020. And this in itself will give an opportunity for Israel and Arab business people openly to explore cooperation opportunities. Israel citizens will be able to visit Dubai with a tourist visa like other visitors. Remember that every fifth citizen in Israel is an Arab. The Arabs participate in Israel's political life and economy. I do not minimize at all the challenges they face, but nonetheless, they have by law the full rights of citizenship. And again, though I understand completely the grievance of the Palestinian people, again, the Palestinian Authority is Israel's fourth largest trading partner, and more than 130,000 Palestinians enter Israel every day for work. So even today, Israel maintains trade relations, not only with Jordan and Egypt, but also with many other Arab countries. In fact, the value of trade between Israel and the GCC countries is greater than the value of trade with Egypt and Jordan, despite the absence of official relations with these countries. I think the benefits for integration and improved relations are clear. The hope is that these positive developments will translate into political gains, since the Israeli public perceives that it has a place in the Middle East and that the Arab countries recognize that this offers many opportunities rather than threats. This will then allow the parties to work towards solutions to problems that prevent reaching a Palestinian-Israeli peace agreement. So this is why your initiative, and frankly, what is a brave decision to state publicly that a new vision for the Arab-Israeli relationship is required. It's why it's so important. And I send you this message today to express my support and indeed my admiration for your work. I don't believe there will be a full peace in the region unless there is a deep and integrated relationship between Arabs and Israelis, one we need, and one without which we will never get the lasting and just resolution of the Palestinian issue. This is true. But what is also true today is that the region faces many of the most critical challenges in common. It shares those challenges. And a sensible and modern view of the region requires the Arab world and Israel to work together to confront the external challenges and successfully to resolve the internal challenges, peacefully and in a way which lasts. So thanks for all your efforts. As I say, I'm sorry I can't be with you. I hope I can be with you at future meetings. Mabruk.